fascinating. Picking through some of the other things we didn't talk about previously, there are other App Store changes that are kind of interesting. Group and volume purchases. Have you seen this?
We talked about it briefly, you and I, but refresh my memory again because I know you were looking into it.
So, yeah, Apple is adding a group and volume in-app purchase or subscription system. So right now, if you are, let's say, a school or a business or an institution of some sort, if you want, let's say, all of your people to be on, I don't know, Relay Team Finder or something like that,
Good plug.
you think, hey, this would be the perfect thing for our people, but each person has to go and subscribe for, what is it, $59 a year, something like that.
Sure.
Okay, well, I'm just throwing that out there. So now we've set a bar. $59 a year. You could say, okay, well, I want, if people are buying, let's say, 10 of these subscriptions, let's make them be $10.99 a year. Give them a deep discount if they're buying more than some number. And so you can do it as two different ways. There's group purchases, which are just for regular people that are interacting with your app. You can sort of merchandise it in your app. You can have a thing saying, hey, how many seats do you want? And then if you do that, so you could say, and it's the same purchasing API that you're used to, but you just put a quantity with it of 10 or 50 or 1,000 or whatever. Hopefully it's 1,000. and then what you get back through the regular purchasing system is you get an invitation link that you can then send to other people, and they use that link, and then it allocates them one of your subscriptions out of this group.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. So I could see from a team perspective, just to put this into context, I can visualize a team. You've got a team of 12 people. We all want to have the same app. One person buys it, maybe everybody pays that person. We get our deep discount because we're buying 12 of them. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. And, okay, so something like that, that's definitely kind of a retail way to approach it. There's also so let's say you're a school or a doctor's office or whatever. And you normally are setting up maybe your Macs or your phones are set up through your mobile device management system, your MDM. So you're setting these up with like Apple Business Manager or what's the other one called? School Manager or something like that. I forget the name. But basically on those, what you normally are doing. So previously what you could do is you could put, like if you had a paid app, let's say it was $50. Someone that was using these like Apple Business Manager or an MDM could say, okay, I want all of this group of my users to have that app. And they could buy that app, okay, well, we need 110 of them. So we'll buy 110. And then I want to put it on this one and this one and this one. And, these people get it and these people don't. And that's how they could manage that. And every now and then in App Store Connect, you would see something like this. You'd see like, oh my gosh, I had like 50 purchases today of my app or, downloads or whatever. And what was that about? And, sometimes you wouldn't see all the users come with it, like if you were tracking analytics and things, but you would just see these lumpy things and you go into it and it says like institutional sale. But that only worked for the purchase of the app, not for subscriptions, not for in-app purchases. I believe this one is all subscriptions. I don't recall if it was also in-app purchases, and I don't have my notes right here, but the way it works there is a little different. Instead of the same thing, they can go in and say, I need 127 of these, and they get a discounted price. And we can talk about that in a second, the discounted price, how that works. But then now they says, okay, you have 127 of these. Who do you want to allocate them to? And they allocate them just like they would do with the rest of their apps. So they can say if your app is something that would appeal to that sort of a group, they could say, okay, great. Well, we're getting these for our whole, assign them to people. And like if that person leaves, I can pull it back from that person, give it to this person. And as far as, in your app, like again, it's just a quantity purchase. They could do it if they're doing it in your app, like with the group purchasing. That's a thing that you have to show a user interface for to make it so they can choose a quantity or whatever. However, if they're doing it through like Apple Business or the School Manager one, they're usually going to do this through Apple's interface and select it there. And so you'll just get, the purchase notification like normal. And then when one of the people logs in with this, you'll see that they've already purchased
Hmm.
a seat or
And
whatever.
this is part of the StoreKit 2 API. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct. And there's a session WWDC video on it. So should probably look at that one.
Because you work with this with one of your client apps. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got some client apps that are managed under the enterprise program, Apple enterprise program, which is again also through the Apple Business Manager and their MDM system. They do that's how the app gets on everyone's devices. Someone goes and clicks something somewhere and it says, okay, now everybody gets the next version of this app, and then they get updated, and they can choose which devices get them and which ones don't. And but the way for both of these, they're like kind of two halves of the same system. Uh, the way the discounts work is they're like kind of like the taxes. They're like a progressive inverse progressive tax. So like if a quantity of one, let's say, is $20, and you buy one, you pay $20. But let's say you said at one they're $20, at 2 to 9 they're $15, and 10 or more is $4.99. Let's say $5. If you set it up like that, and I buy 30 of them, the first one is still going to be at the $20. Number 2 through number 9 are going to be at the whatever number I said, $15. And
I view it like a tax bracket, right?
it's just like the tax brackets. Yeah. Yeah. So the first unit is more expensive, and then the next ones are cheaper, and the next ones are cheaper. So, but you can, certainly say, well, hey, look, if you do this, your average price is, if you're getting 50 of them, your average price is going to be pretty close to the higher number, the lower number.
Right, right. So as that number goes up, if you say 100 or 1,000, that up at the 1,000 point, that number should be pretty low. So the average.
Right. You could say, hey, it's 1 to 10 is, $25, and 11 to 99 is $15, and everything over 99 is $5. You could say that. And if you buy 1,000, well, you're going to be awfully close to the $5 price, but overall.
Yeah,
But
that could be a subtle. It's a subtle pricing nuance that could be easy to overlook. You just think that, oh, everything. If I'm buying 100 of them, then they're all $5 each. Well, that's not actually the case.
right, right. And it's not. And it does matter, because I don't know how this works, but like if I buy 10 now and I buy 20 later,
Hmm.
how do I get charged then? Is the 20 a new batch of 20 where the first 10 are still at the high price? I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't looked into it to that extent, but that's a question, I guess. I know it applies to subscriptions. I don't know if it applies to
Single purchase.
single in-app purchase, yeah. But that was sort of interesting.